I was a very, very ambitious, very difficult young man to manage.
All we had to do was pay $25,000 each.
Yeah, that's all we had to do.
Yes, yeah. James got business too, but we got him at a discounted rate because we put him under a child.
We're talking about me? What are we talking about?
All right, so we're on our way to, this is the Sydney to LA flight. Then what we're gonna do is have a couple of hours in LA. Then we're gonna fly off to Phoenix. And then from there we're gonna have 2 days with Jeremy. And then we're gonna go to Dallas for the Sales Sniper event. James is, I think, going on to Madison.
We're talking about me? What are we talking about?
To have a look at the new office that we're looking at there. I fly back. Anyway, here we are. I'll update you throughout the flight. How'd you go?
As I say, when you sleep, you move a lot.
What'd you get done?
I got a ton of stuff. I got done the challenge for Sunflower, the projection for next month for all the businesses and everything, contracts for new stuff, some like paying and stuff. The to-do list of today.
I wrote a speech on the history of Sales Sniper and slept for 6 hours. And then I watched some South Park. Hey, work smart, not hard, right? All right, so we're about 20 minutes away from landing in LA. It was a really, really good flight. Me and Marco were sat next to each other, so we got a chance to sort of strategize, and we did a bunch of plans. And then I have a speech at Sales Sniper for the retreat that I want to do about like how to go from setter to closer, and sort of how to set yourself up for success, and then give a history of Sales Sniper. My goal is to kind of get all that stuff out there, and then give the guys a plan on how to progress their own careers. We fly to Dallas in the morning on the Saturday. Pretty much get off the plane, go straight play paintball. Then the next day is all kind of, we do team building that day.
That's you. Well, that's you. Good news.
Sales were made?
Yeah, ton of
How many?
a ton of it. Probably.
Not bad for a plane ride.
Not bad.
I never forgot that. And so like when leads come through, like that, like I paid for those, like that's how I felt. I paid for those. And so like it gives you a whole different context, right? So then when Rhodes started closing like those lower ticket deals effectively, we gave him more higher ticket deals. And what that allowed him to do, it allowed him to understand sales process as well. So when I put him on Bashar, he knew those leads were fucked. Because he's like, it's like, what's happening here, right? So it allowed him to kind of go back through and have the context of going through no shows, no sales, follow-ups, and then going through all the different things. And he's like, there's something missing here. And then we figured it out, worked on it together, and we were able to kind of fix some stuff. From there, he went to closing for Vince, yeah, which was great, which was actually a milestone in the company. Okay, Vince DelMonte was the first like well-known account we ever got. The way that we got that account was we pitched against 6 other agencies, and the only reason why we got it is because I was the only one that objection handled. So Vince goes, yeah, this sounds great, man. Let me go away and think about it. I was like, what are we doing here? Think about it. I was like, all right. So anyway, I handed his think about it objection. I made him sign the deal on the day, and that's why we got that. And that's what kind of propelled the entire company into like the trajectory that we're on at the moment. As you guys progress and like the progression of the accounts that you're on, we do our best to move people around to where there's opportunity, but like we also do our best to understand where you're at in your sales career, and I don't want to put you on accounts that you can't close. And so like we aim to put people on accounts that we think they'll be the most successful, and that's the sales process, it's the mechanisms of lead generation, the type of sale that's going to be, and the type of prospect at which they're going to be talking to. And so as people progress in their sales career, they're going to be able to sell different things in different ways. And we're always trying to put people in places where they'll be successful, but also challenge them to kind of go to like the next level. And I think that one thing that you guys have to realize is that we have to know where you want to go. So you have to make that evident to us. And just even if there was 5 of you, if someone didn't go, hey, I'd like to do this, then like, how the fuck am I supposed to know, right? We're always looking out for career progression. I want to keep people in this company for as long as humanly possible, obviously. My dad is a resource for you guys. He is the guidance counselor for everybody, okay? The reason why I chose him is 1, because he's my dad, so you know, keep it in the family. But also, like, he's a tremendously good mentor of young men. I was a very, very ambitious, very difficult young man to manage. I was not mean or like really bad, but I was very, very like, I would debate my Bible study class. be like, what the fuck you saying? Right? Like I've never had a problem with confrontation, and so that led to me being very difficult to deal with as a teenager, right? So my dad is the most patient human being on the planet, right? And he is here as a resource, and I think we're probably one of the only companies, or the only company in the coaching space that spends money on someone to help figure out what it is you guys want. But also, like, don't worry about standing still for a little bit. There's nothing wrong with being content for a period of time. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you get to 10K a month and you're like, this is fucking great, my life is perfect. Fuck, don't worry about it, guys. That's perfect. One of the things that I've learned as I get older is I am not going to put my ambition and my goals on other people, because I will be infinitely frustrated with your behavior. I have a very specific goal, right? And very specific wants and needs, and that is me. That has nothing to do with you guys, and I'm not going to espouse my beliefs and my wants and my goals on you, right? In the same way where you shouldn't do that to me. You will live a life of frustration. If you're a closer and you have a setter that fucking frustrates the shit out of you because they're not acting in how you would act, don't worry about that. Just have them act how they should act. Okay, not how you would do it. If you never want to go into this role, fucking fine. Don't. If you're crushing it here and you're super happy doing those deals, stay there for as fucking long as you want. As soon as you want to go, hey, like, but just know, management, less money. Who knows that? The highest paid people in the company will almost always be the closers. Management is capped because, like, at some point you stop generating revenue. When you stop generating revenue, you somewhat limit the amount of money that you can make. Now we try and fix that in certain ways, and that is the most lucrative role. And it's probably the role in which you will have the most amount of time freedom. The evolution of the company, okay, I think is important context for everyone. The evolution of myself and Marco and the people who have been around here the longest, that is the reason, because I have a really, really big belief that if you skip steps, it will ultimately cap what you're capable of, not only from an income generating standpoint, but just from like a career progression standpoint. And that's why I fucking hate like the sales biz op community, you know, that kind of shit, come and stop being a truck driver and earn 10K fucking 30 days. It's a load of shit. It's very difficult to hide when you're really performing. Trust me, man, we look at numbers all fucking day. So like if someone's just blowing dials out of the water, it is extraordinarily obvious, okay? Like it's like, fuck, what happened there? Because we see it. You know what I mean? If someone's producing tons of sets that close, like Valeria averages like $100,000 cash collected a week from her sets. It's hard to hide that, right? Right? Like it's difficult. You're like, Jesus, right? What's fucking happening over there? Fucking not even looking, on holiday on the beach, just setting 75 calls with this fucking giant ass nails, right? So, right? You should have like just crushed what you're doing. Right? Like your job should become boring and easy, right? Like closing for me, like as arrogant as it sounds, was so boring by the end of it. Like when I had a 94% close rate for 6 months on 7th level, right? That's of everyone who showed up, 94%. It was so fucking boring, I was basically doing it with my eyes closed. I was like, all right, that have an impact on you? I was like, I am ready to bounce out of this place, right? Right? Like, I'll go do something else. And then Marco moved in and I think beat me, right? He certainly beat me in terms of volume. That motherfucker got after it, right? So yeah, so like it should be like, that's the mundane. As soon as you've done that, the next level is it's not that much of a step. You know what I mean? So, and that's gonna take everyone time, and like everyone's development time is totally different. So like for me, people have a look at me in the high ticket industry, fuck, you got so good so quick. It's like, motherfucker, I sold for full time for 10 years. Right? 10 years of dialing leads before I ever took a high ticket sale. And then all of a sudden I'm good. And they're like, oh, look, you did a fucking $97 sales mentor class and you're a 100K a month closer. It's like, hang on, champ. Let's fucking time out.
Pretty sure that was one of the ads.
Yeah, right? So like, you know what I mean? So like there's lots of compounding factors. And also like the ways in which people learn, and the, like, if you're half introvert, half extrovert, like that tremendously plays towards your ability to adapt to a sales environment. Right? Like how you learn and how I teach and how Jeremy teaches, right? Like the way in which you absorb information will have a big factor in how fast you can absorb it and then actually like use it. So like I was not good at sales at all for a very, very long time. Most of you are far beyond where I was at the same time in sales. right? So if you did everything at twice the rate I did, like most of you guys are still 3 or 4 years away, right? From being where I was 2 years ago in terms of selling, right? You know, you guys can pass some of this on, and when you have like frustrated setters or closers or whatever, like you have people that want to leave, or you know, they're frustrated because the fucking account they're on or this or this or this, it's like, okay, like there is a natural progression. You do need to voice concerns, like you do need to do that, okay? But like we need to be able to voice concerns locally, and then like significant ones that can't be fixed locally need to be passed up, right? And then from there we can have chats at management and we can figure out what needs to happen. Maybe this person does need to move on. Maybe this does need to happen. But like at least we can have the conversation and we can try and look after everybody as best as possible and not have them skip too many steps and and realize where they are in the process. Stop. Now keep going. No, stop.